This is the way the system works, and you can see the amount of reach that we're getting, the average CPMs, the frequency that we're hitting people across the board, across the account. It's all going the right way, and for that, $400 a day, we're getting 1.3 million impressions a month for him.
Hello everyone in YouTube land, this is Glenn from Solutions 8 and I'm here again with Dan, and this is video 5 in our sequence of the hybrid Facebook Klaviyo / Google system. Today Dan's going to be taking us through probably an account that he's been running this system on probably the longest, you were saying, Dan, and some of the results that you've been getting.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, so this account, look, we have been running this account for quite a few months. Now with this strategy, it's not an ATM machine. This is a long-term strategy where we're building trust, awareness, engagement, and it's not flash in the pan type, oh, we've got some secret hack and we've managed to generate sales for you. There is a definite synergy between all of these strategies in terms of Google, Klaviyo, and your meta advertising. And what it does do is it really effectively takes into consideration the time it takes a potential customer to make a decision about whether they want to purchase. Now, the brand that I'll go on to show you now, it's a highly competitive space. They sell security equipment or personal safety equipment, things along those lines. There's a lot of competition out there, but there's also a lot of consideration that's given to the product, how they can use it in their situation, whether it's for home or their office, or it's for them to carry around. So there's a whole lot. There's more than just an impulse buy. People have a problem. This is the solution. So this one, we know that the consideration phase from the time of first contact to time of sale is about 23 days. So when we set these accounts up, we do expect to get sales, but we don't expect to see full efficiency of the system until we've got to that 23 to 30 day mark, because that's when we know that first batch of people that are becoming aware of us at top of funnel are working through that average time it takes to make the decision. So no point showing you a fresh setup. No, I can show you fresh setups, but you're going to be like, well, that's nice, but what you want to see is results.
Yeah, and you want to have a look at something that you have been running consistently so that you can see consistent results. I suppose at the end of the day, that's what this is designed for. It's designed to sort of take out a lot of the peaks and troughs, and it just creates a consistent flow. Yeah.
And over time, this system's been refined to try and take away those peaks and troughs. Like being a brand owner myself, like Gearbunch has been around since 2016, and it's seen a global financial crisis, it's seen COVID, it's seen increased competition, there's so much that goes on aside from the actual user that's sitting on the other side of their device or computer making a decision to buy. Ideally what we all crave as brand owners, as business owners, is consistency.
Yep.
So this system is set up to provide consistency. There is still peaks and troughs in business, like anything. It could be seasonal. It could be, it can be a variety of reasons. But at the end of the day, if we can reduce the difference between the highs and the lows, so that we get more consistent performance, and we just bounce around in here instead of this, oh my God, this is the best feeling ever, to I don't think that I can run my brand anymore and I need to go and get a job, working for someone else. If we can bounce around in this midline here and know that we've got a predictable system that is consistent, that's ideally where we want to be.
Gotcha. All right, let's go. Show us what you got.
Okay, so just present the entire screen. Okay, so this is live in account. This one's in February. I'm just showing you February because in April, I can show you April as well to show you that it hasn't fallen off a cliff, but they upgraded their website and it did lead to tracking issues. So February, the end of February was when they decided to change their website over. They're on Magento, and they upgraded from one version to another, and it broke the plugin that was connected. The plugin hadn't been updated from Magento to something technical, but basically we were losing a lot of their metrics. And I will show you that just to, you know, prove a point that the system still works. It's just we did see a drop off in reporting. So overall, during the month of February, which is one of their quieter months, 11,700 spent. And I'll break down how this comes through. Top line, cost per purchase is 63. Their average order value is up close to $250. So we've got a ROAS of about nearly 4. This account, we like to try and keep it about 4. It's extremely profitable. Break even sits at 2.25 for this account. So it's really, really, you know, solid performance. If we can scale at 4, which is what we want to do, it's perfect. So this client came to us and they were very reluctant to use meta ads. They're very successful on Google in terms of conversions. We started running their email marketing. We developed that trust. And I just kept reiterating to him that the system will work better if we can feed Google ads and your Klaviyo account, your email marketing, with this strategy. The most he'd ever spent was $100 a day on Facebook ads. And he just flat out said it doesn't work. And he's been in business for, I think, since about 2015 with this brand. Mm-hmm. And he said, it just doesn't work for us. I've had agencies try, I've tried myself. He's a smart dude. It just wasn't working for him. So he just written it off. So now we've got to a point where he's allowing us to scale incrementally, provided we can keep within that range. And this is continuing to hold at the ROAS of around 4 for him. You know, we're only obviously seeing 80% of the attributed revenue coming through here because of people that have opted out of allowing tracking for Facebook. So we're confident that we're at the 4. It's 3.92 there, but we're confident that we're at the 4, and his global MER reflects that. So when you look at it here, what you'll see is the structure that we've talked about in the other videos. So at our top of funnel, we're going out to people who come onto the socials, they've got a problem, they're not actively looking for a solution, but what we're doing is we're introducing a solution to them, and the solution is this brand. In this case, it's personal safety or security. This is not designed to ever get conversions. And you can see that. In the month, it had 1 conversion. Is that big enough on the screen, or do you want me to make it a bit bigger?
Oh, if you could zoom in a little bit more, it is small.
I'll just do that to there. That should be heaps better. You can see it's got 1 conversion, not the intention of it. The intention of this is to make people solution aware. And when we look at it, in the month, we reached 437,000 people at a CPM of $1.32. US dollars this accounts in. Extremely cheap to get out there and to start creating those custom audiences. That filters them into here, where we create another touch point, which is middle of funnel. So this is operating on the audiences that we've talked about previously, that we're creating from the top of funnel and from our email marketing. So when you look at the audiences here, we've got people that have been engaged with the Instagram account last 30 days, the Facebook page. They've watched 50% of our videos from that top of funnel campaign. They've visited the website in the last 30 days, or they're subscribed but not purchased in the last 30 days. Key is here, we do exclude the purchases. And what we're trying to do here is build that brand awareness. Again, we're not trying to get purchases here. We're trying to build the brand as the solution to these people's problems. Now, if we just stop there, it would be effective. Of the 437,000 impressions we got there, if we look at, we've got 437,000 impressions there. Of that, with audiences that are created through this campaign in the middle of funnel, we're then reaching nearly 250,000 people here with impressions at a CPM of 2.58. So again, really effective. Don't be stressed about frequency here, because within these, we're constantly rotating ads, and we've got 5 different variations in there. Same at top of funnel. If we're worried about ad fatigue. We've got 10 in here, one of which is off. This because this product's out of stock, which is why it's off. But fundamentally, there is a lot of variety going into the feed for users. So the frequency, not concerned about it. We talked about previously in other videos that we used to have the rule of 7 with marketing. It's now much closer to 19 or 20 in terms of touch points before people start to trust us. That's what we want. Now, if we did stop here, like I said, we're going to be generating leads. We're going to be putting them in our email marketing campaigns, email marketing flows, sequences, whatever you want to refer to them as. We're also boosting the amount of people that are going to come looking for you with that higher intent on Google, trying to solve their problems. I've seen this brand has a solution to my problem. We see an increase in brand search. We also see an increase in the remarketing that goes on in there, because we're making them very aware here. They're coming onto the socials and you can see how many impressions we're getting in a month here. It's like a giant billboard on the search socials, but it's very targeted. So it's not being wasted. Here, we're targeted with interests. Then here, we're only hitting people based on their actions in this campaign here. What we then do is we then start to break it out. Now, this is where we start to see the results. Now, the reason we had to change our bottom of funnel retargeting here for a different one is because we had an issue with the catalog. It meant we had to restart it, which is why you can see there's two. One's got V2 next to it. It's a version 2. Frustrating, but things happen online. So we had to rebuild out a new campaign there for them. So up here, what we've got is our middle of funnel, which is the same audiences that are here in the brand awareness. We're now going to, and we're saying, hey, with different copy, with different ads, you can see we're going a bit product specific. We've got 5 live ads in there, but you can see over the course of the lifetime of this, with the way that we go in and we audit daily based on performance, turn ads on, turn ads off, you'll see only 6 ads live in there, but 42 have been produced. During the month of February, those ads are now off. If we go amount spent and we're looking at those ads, unfortunately, the most successful ad we had was this one here. We had a ROAS of 6.73. We sold them out of it, which is that one that I showed in that top of funnel that said, do not use, like, don't turn it on because it's out of stock. So again, good problems. But those middle of funnel, they're going from seeing brand awareness style to then, if they're still in those segments, those audiences, we then hit them here. 116 purchases at a ROAS of 4.38. We also then do reach out using Advantage Plus audiences, which is this scale one here. It's performing well. It doesn't get a higher average order value as the others, but it still does perform exceptionally well. It's still well over the 4 ROAS where we need it to be.
Yep.
This one here, we make sure in our business manager account, we import into their past purchases, because Advantage Plus has an ability, same as PMax in Google. If we give it good data and we say, hey, these are the past purchases, the past customers for this brand, can you go out and try and find it? So yes, technically, when you look at it from an ad set level, the audience is wide open. And we're going, say to the algorithm, go find people, but we're also still in the back end guiding it and putting in our custom audiences and uploading our audiences of purchases. So that comes from the website, it comes from the pixel on Facebook, the reporting of the pixel, and it also comes from Klaviyo. So there's 3 main sources there. Yes, there's overlap in there. We want that. We're just trying to hit everyone that we can. And this is a lifetime of clients. So the pixel gives us 180 days, Klaviyo gives us all, and the website gives us everything as well. So we've got there, you know, he's into his 9th year. We've got 9 years worth of customer data in there, and you can see it works effectively, like really well. And these are operating, the CPMs are nice and low. I mean, they're really reasonable CPMs considering we're going for purchase conversions.
Yep.
The retargeting, this is where we're just hitting people that have added to the cart but not purchased in the last 30 days. It converts well. Unfortunately, it was performing better here But now, new ad, new learning, we had to start again. And just that's the entire system. We did add in another Advantage Plus scale. So this one is a catalog. So when we start to see performance working here, we're at Advantage Plus, where the algorithm's really picking up where we want our purchases, and we can see that cost per purchase is 54, ROAS of 4.14. This is for individual products and product specific ads. This one, we grab the catalog and we go out cold with them, and we try and find, we say to the algo, go and find customers like the ones we've uploaded in Business Manager for you to know about. And we try it just at a catalog level. Now, this works really well, especially for brands that have a lot of SKUs in their range. If you've got 2 or 3, it's not very effective. If like this client or with my own brand, they've got thousands of SKUs. Well, I've got thousands of SKUs. They've got hundreds. And it stays a bit dynamic in terms of some things are out of stock, some things are very seasonal. Sometimes they've got new products coming in. Sometimes they just discontinue a product line. So that keeps it really fresh and puts the relevant product in front of those people. And just for clarity, I'll show you last month. Okay, so we started seeing that scale with the catalog starting to come through. We did see a bit of drop off here, and this is why this is what I spoke about, is we started to see some drop off in the amount of add to carts that were coming through, and the amount of reporting that was coming through for view content and things along those lines. So we had to, that's why I showed you that. Even last 30 days, we only just resolved this problem, which is involved a bit of coding in there in the back end. So going back to where we last had the cleanest set of data, 3.92 ROAS at a CPA of 65. In January, which is traditionally fairly quiet for this brand, 3.45 at a ROAS of 69. I think we started in November with this brand. So December, 4.3 ROAS with a CPA of 64. So we're staying in and around there. And this is that consistency that we're talking about. 4.48 ROAS with a CPA of 64. So it's, you know, we're getting that consistency for them, which is where we want to be. So that's where we're at. This is a real life example of an account that's performing well. It's behaving as expected.
And especially considering he's never been able to get it profitable at all on Facebook. Like you just said.
Exactly. I think before we took over, the most that he'd ever spent on Facebook ads was maybe $3,000 in a month, and he wasn't profitable doing that at all.
Yep.
Whereas now, where he's given us $400 a day, which takes us to that 12,000, which is where we're at.
Yep.
Given us other benchmarks, he'll increase the spend provided we can show history that we're staying at that. Bit of a speed bump or a roadblock with the reporting last month with that drop off of the reporting when they upgraded their website. But you know, that this is life. That's what's happened. But then we sit down and we look at the global MER. Whilst it's not coming through reporting, we haven't seen any change in that global MER between all of his ad spend and, you know, what the return is overall. So, you know, this is the way the system works, and you can see the amount of reach that we're getting, the average CPMs, the frequency that we're hitting people across the board, across the account. You know, it's all going the right way. And for that, you know, $400 a day, we're getting 1.3 million impressions a month for him, which is.
And you're also doing Klaviyo for the same brand too, aren't you?
Correct. Yeah.
And so how long have you been running this client for?
This client, with the email marketing, probably the beginning of last year, maybe a fraction longer.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah.
So I like 14 months, 15 months.
Yeah. And that's what I was saying, is that I would, you know, quite often talk to him about his, you know, how his Google ads are going, which you've helped out with greatly, how his Facebook ads are going. And he'd always just dismiss Facebook ads and say they just don't work for my brand.
Yep.
Don't work, they don't work, they don't work. And we got to a point around October, November last year, and he said, I want to scale. And I'm like, well, I can't scale your email marketing. I can try and get conversion rates higher. I can try and convert people on your sign up forms more, but fundamentally, if the traffic's not on the website, I can't control that because I'm not controlling the traffic. I said that the way that I know to be able to help you scale is with Facebook ads. We went into the story of, $100 a day was the most he ever spent. Doesn't work. He's tried it several times over the years. We built up enough trust with him and a relationship with him that he said, hey, all right, let's give it a go. Let's give it a go for November, because everyone goes crazy around November for Black Friday, Cyber Monday. If we're going to see if it's going to work, he said, if at any stage, it will be now. We gave it a go. He gave us a budget of, I think it's about $200 a day to start with, and we've just slowly, incrementally gone up from there. And performance is holding. I can't see any reason why we won't be able to scale it further for him.
Very good. Yeah. It's so what would you say since the implementation of the Klaviyo email marketing and Facebook, what do you think the bottom line has been for him on average, roughly increase on a month by month basis?
Look, he's seeing about a 20% increase comparing year on year, which is fantastic. So, we're adding in effectively an extra $9,000 in ad spend doing the Facebook marketing, but it's also adding in, you can see there.
But you're also improved his email marketing as well.
Exactly.
Not only that, and look, this is a universal truth that when you are doing Facebook, it helps Google massively, especially if you've got performance max campaigns, standard shopping, brand improves.
Well, you can't hit, it just doesn't make sense. You can't hit 1.3 million impressions when you're advertising well and you're delivering the right messages. Think that these people, no one's ever going to buy from you, or you're not going to see an uplift in performance. Done correctly, they're being nurtured through a funnel. They don't know that, but when they come on to the socials, they're being nurtured through this funnel. Whether they decide to click on a button here and purchase, potentially 180 of them did in February, but there's also a greater percentage that will go across to Google. And I do this as a shopper myself. I'll look on the socials, then I'll go and I'll Google a review about the brand to see whether they're, what their reputation's like. And then I'll go and probably grab the product that I'm looking at from them, and I'll go and compare it with competitors' products. All this research that we do, and I do it all the time. I'll very, very rarely just see an ad and go, I'm going to buy that, unless it's an impulse buy. It has to be something fun or exciting, or just a little impulse buy, something pretty cheap that I'll do that with. These products, average order value is around $250. Like, it's not an impulse buy. So, we know that people are going to be Googling the reviews. They're going to be Googling other competitors. They're going to be comparing your product to competitors. And where do they go to do that? They go to Google.
Of course. And also this brand, what this brand lends itself to is most of the time people have a problem and they're looking for a solution. So they have quite a strong intent. They're not just browsing through and going, oh, that looks right, I might buy that. They're actually, oh my God, I've got a small problem, or I've got a big problem. I need a solution for this problem. Who can fix that for me? So it is, and people will do their homework on seeing, okay, well, that's that brand. Well, who else is out there? Because at the end of the day, most people want to feel safe that they're making a solid purchase and they're not getting ripped off, and they're trustworthy and they're reputable. All those things. It's all about making sure that people feel comfortable in that purchase, so they're going to do their research.
Exactly. And that's where those different intent levels that we acknowledge and also work with. So you don't go to social media to solve a problem. but you do go to social media knowing what your problems are.
Yes.
And then just by coincidence, some smart marketers put a solution to that problem in front of them. What do I do when I go to Google? I have intent. I'm looking to solve that problem, but I already know because of the social advertising that there is a solution, and the solution is this brand. Well, I do other research while I'm there, look at reviews, look at competitors, look at pricing, look at comparing products. Sure, I'm definitely going to do that. But what am I doing every time I do that? I'm creating another touch point. Another touch point.
Very good, mate. That's good. All right. Well, we won't go on too much longer about that. That's just another case study on the success of the system that you implement on the Facebook side of things.
Yep.
So like I said, this is our 5th video in the series. In our next videos, we'll probably be bringing out more case studies. We've got a few Solutions 8 clients that they're performing quite well at this early stage of.
Yeah, they're cooking away at the moment, which is good.
Yep.
Yeah, and definitely can't wait to show people those results as well.
Beautiful. All right, mate. Thanks very much again for your time, and we'll catch up soon.
No worries. Thank you.
Yeah, mate. G'day, YouTube fans. Here we are in our next installment, talking with Dan Nickus, and we are talking about the Facebook strategy, in particular, middle of funnel. So, Dan, our last meeting we talked about the top of funnel.